Wonder Man is a superhero story that perfectly portrays the lived black male experience in America. Hello, everyone. I'm author R.L. Raintree, and this is Reels and Reads, where I give honest reviews and occasional spoilers. Wonder Man is another series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a cinematic universe I do my best to avoid because it's so confusing and I have to do so much homework. I will say that Wonder Man is a superhero character that I knew nothing about, so this was definitely new for me. And my black cat Severus is playing with my phone. Can you not, Sir Cat? Apparently, he's not happy until the phone is on the floor and it has just fallen. So let's just get into the review. So as I said before, this is a comic book series. It's available on Disney Plus. Yes, I know we boycotted Disney Plus, but I got free access to it, so I'm going to do the review. And for the rest of you, you can wait until it's, free trial or whatever, depending on whether or not you're still boycotting Disney Plus. Now, if you're new to this, Wonder Man is an obscure character who comic book readers, avid comic book readers, will know very well. But if you're like me and you don't read comic books, I mean, I've read Shuri, I've read Black Panther, I've read some comics that had Catwoman in it. I don't know if she had her own, but Wonder Woman is the only comic book series I've read nonstop, as well as Shuri. And I collect Wonder Woman comics. So outside of that, I'm not a comic book person. So one of the things you're going to notice is that this is an obscure character. There's not much to be said about him, but apparently he is quite important according to my Googles and my searching. I will say that his powers, based on what they said in the show, involve rearranging ions and things on an atomic cellular level, in order to manipulate the environment around him. When he gets enraged, there's this invisible force that will crack a wall or will crack the floor or will possibly keep my cat from messing around when I'm trying to record. I guess he heard me talking about him. Anyhow, it's an invisible force thing, where he can manipulate things. He can move things. He'll break a marble countertop, but it's all tied to his rage and his frustration. And he spends this entire series trying to control that. And that is where we have the Black American male commentary. He is safe if he does not express emotions. He does not cry. He does not get frustrated. He does not get upset. He, even in situations where he should. Now, this is not a spoiler, but he is in a relationship where he lives with someone and she waits until after he has already gone on an audition. His being the actor Yahya Mateen II. Yahya Abdul Mateen II. His character's name is Simon or Simon, and he comes home and his live-in girlfriend is packing up and leaving, and he has no outward emotional response to it, and she basically tells him that's part of the problem. What she doesn't understand is that he's not allowed to have an emotional response because he's in trouble. And what I mean by that is not because he's black. It is done through, I would say, by proxy, because as those who are into Marvel already know, there is a company that is building a private prison. You see the parallels there. A private prison that is costing lots and lots of money. And the purpose of this prison is to lock up supers. Obviously, the villains. That's the idea. Lock up the villains. But they're not getting enough villains in these prisons because the villains are usually vanquished. They go to another planet, what have you, another multiverse. And so now you've spent all this money on this prison and you need to put bodies in this prison. So what do? They decide they're going to lock up all the supers. So you see the parallels to real life, especially here in the United States. So he cannot afford to have anyone know that he is a super. He cannot afford to show his emotions because it will get him locked up. Again, do you see the parallels for being a black male in America? Now, his character is I shouldn't say an aspiring actor. He is a working actor, but he's looking for that one great gig. And that one great gig happens to be Wonder Man, sort of like with all these comic book films we have now, like, say, Captain America. This was his favorite superhero when he was a child. This is how his father saw him becoming an actor, knew that he was meant to be an actor. And he did just that, but he has such a passion for the craft that he tries to tell other people what to do, and it makes them like cut his acting gigs a little short. So this is the gig of a lifetime. He really needs to land it. Lucky for him, he's got Sir Ben Kingsley, who goes by the name of Trevor, also known as the Mandarin. And Trevor enjoyed his life as an actor. Trevor was on The Substances. And I don't mean the Demi Moore substances. I mean alcoholic beverages and otherwise non-sobering medicines. So he got into some trouble, especially dressed as the Mandarin. He did a video and he maintains that it was a paid gig. He was just an actor, but he was arrested nonetheless. And he gets out of prison early because the FBI is trying to find supers. Now, they suspect that Simone is a super, and they need him to go and befriend Simone to go find out, are you a super? Can we lock you up? And none of that is a spoiler. That's basically the premise for this entire series. It is a short series. It's a binge watcher, and the episodes are quite short, some as short as 30 minutes from what I remember. I will say that Sir Ben Kingsley was in his element. He did a fantastic job as his character. His character, Trevor, again, I wouldn't say a failed actor, but a disgraced one. And he is there to help Simone get this gig, but he winds up understanding him as a human being. They understand each other. They become great friends. But at the same time, if Trevor doesn't do what he's been sent to do, Trevor's going back to lockup. And Trevor is not particularly inclined to being imprisoned. So there's that interesting stressor in the relationship. Meanwhile, you have Simone, who is just trying to exist. There is a whole backstory as to what happened to another super who made it into the industry. I won't go into that because that will be heavy into the spoilers, but it does a great job of showing what it's like for other black supers, specifically black supers. And this is where I say it's a subliminal message, if you will, an undertow, an undercurrent of what it's like to be black in America, specifically a black male. Now, Yahya does an amazing job of portraying a man that is in control of his emotions, all while being frustrated to the point where he feels like he's going to explode if he doesn't express himself. So many times you want Simone to just let it out. Like, you're going to be on amlodipine and beta blockers and all of the things if you don't do something about this, sir. Like, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. But again, watching the friendship blossom between the two characters, watching Simone strive for that one gig, all while trying to be what the world wants him to be, trying to extinguish who he is just to exist. This show carries a lot more emotional weight than you might think, and it is most definitely a comedy. I know that the trailer showed it as like a comic comedy, and it is. That's kind of a double word, but a comic book comedy. It definitely is a comedy, but it is also a bit of drama mixed in there. It is wholesome, it is emotional, it is moving. It's not heavy at all. The comic relief comes in right on time, and it is refreshing because this relies on the plot, the stories, the acting of these two great actors, and relies almost 0% on special effects. The only special effects that I can blatantly tell you I saw was making it look like things are exploding, making it look like the walls are vibrating and trembling and all of the things. Obviously those are special effects, but I mean, it's nothing serious. It's nothing distracting. This is probably one of those minimal special effects series. I highly recommend it to everyone, especially people who like plot heavy comic book stories and less, fantastic and unrealistic and special effects heavy shows. I give this show 5 stars, and I'm definitely going to be rewatching it. Have you seen it? Tell me what you think.